St. Patrick's Day to you folks. I'm Corey Evan, the Game Show Geek. So sorry I've been away for so long. As you can see, I've been moving and finally setting up a new set. I'd say it looks kind of nice. Depends on how you're feeling, of course. But no matter, because today is St. Patrick's Day 2012, and I've got some game show news for you. Starting with this number one item. You may have heard of the new show from NBC called, I believe it's Fashion Star. Sorry, I forgot the name for a second there. But then again, so the rest of America, I know NBC was hoping that it would turn out to be another ratings hit like The Voice, but no. It ended up falling to CBS's lineup, which, even though it was an all-repeats lineup, ended up bringing in 10 million people. That's amazing, because it's all repeats, and still they didn't end up beating out even Fox. They only had like 4.5 million. But at any rate, that doesn't matter because here's an announcement from GSN. They're partnering up with I'm sorry, I'm screwing up my lines. Perhaps just the mood of St. Patrick's Day, you know, one or two of those. But don't worry, I haven't touched a drop. But at any rate, GSN's just gotten the rights to over 300 episodes of The Family Feud, hosted by the one and only Steve Harvey. And yes, they are going to be airing them on GSN. It's going to be starting on the 28th of the month at 7 p.m. And apparently, Amy Introcaso-Davis, you know, the executive VP of programming at GSN, she couldn't be any more excited because apparently Family Feud's been a top performer on their ratings list, which explains why they appear so often in their lineup. But none the matter. We've got another bit of classic game show announcement here. Over in the UK, Deal or No Deal, which is hosted by the one and only Noel Edmonds, apparently may be moved into the midnight hour. That is, if it ends up falling victim of this next accusation. They got a comment from the Gambling Commission suggesting that they may be in breach of broadcasting regulations for game shows and that the channel is set to be investigated over the matter. Channel 4, that is. They're the ones that air it in the UK. Yeah, they claim that the Noel Edmonds hosted show, which has been running on the channel since 2005, which pretty much amuses me why they haven't announced this sort of thing, tried to launch this sort of investigation years ago, says that it doesn't involve an element of skill, which is a key factor in deciding if the show is legally fit to air before 9 p.m., you know, before the past prime time sort of thing, you know. That's why you see so much weird stuff in Jay Leno and Jimmy Fallon sort of shows. Or if you're in the UK, Graham Norton. And sticking with news from across the pond, BBC Radio 4 is piloting a US version of its top satirical show, The News Quiz. Recorded in New York with a panel of American comedians taking aim at the Republican primary elections. Those are a lot of fun. Apparently, News Quiz USA will air on Radio 4 in the BBC on March 22nd, fronted by Daily Show contributor Lewis Black. Why is Lewis Black doing this sort of thing? But at any rate, it does duplicate the format of the British version, which is chaired by Sandy Toksvig. I hope I got that name right. And it features regular panelists such as Jeremy Hardy and Andy Hamilton commenting sardonically on the news. Just like Have I Got News for You. And the panelists will be satirist and comedy writer Andy Borovitz, veteran stand-up and journalist Kathleen Madigan, comedian Tex Alexandro, and another unconfirmed guest. I wonder why they're not telling us this sort of thing. But the most likely home of the US version would be on NPR. You know, they already do a bunch of BBC sort of stuff. And in other news, you may have heard about Britney Spears getting a $10 million offer to be on The Voice, you know, act as a judge. Thankfully, she turned it down. And it makes me wonder, why would they ever offer this sort of job to Britney Spears? I mean, this is a girl who shaved her head when she was freaking out over K-Fed, or something like that. No wonder Chris Crocker went crazy. I just thought I'd mention that, and I'd like to get your viewpoint on this whole Britney Spears, The Voice thing, and all the game show news I've covered this week in the comment section below. I hit my knee on the chest! Oh, it's pokey. Yeah, there's a pokey thing under it. Hurt. Forget it. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Just keep posting your comments. I need to rework this desk. But don't worry, I'll get it up and going, and hopefully this video will be up and going before I'm back up. But at any rate, I thank you for tuning in to this week's Game Show News, and I hope to see you next week. Till then, I'm Corey Evans.